I bought the Google Pixel 7 about a month ago now and have decided to use it as my main phone over my Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, as well as over getting a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, not to mention all of the other plethora of phones that I have or have the option to buy. And I just wanted to give you a quick video as to why I've decided to go with this phone for right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. First reason I love this Google Pixel 7 is the size. The Pro size, the Samsung Galaxy S22, 23 Ultra, those crazy max big 7-inch phones are just not for me, unfortunately. I have some pretty big hands, but they are very nice and thick fingers. I don't have long hands. I don't have long fingers to reach across that entire screen. So this just a little bit smaller 6.3 inch screen is just about perfect for me and my hands. I did have an iPhone 12 mini for a while. Used that. It was just a hair too small feeling. Obviously great for usability. Your thumb can very easily reach across that whole screen. But the big issue that I had with that at that point was the screen was so small that it was ruining different experiences like watching videos, taking pictures or video myself, playing games, anything like that. So this screen is definitely for me big enough to handle all of that while still being small enough that I can reach most of the screen with my thumb. The second reason why I really like the Google Pixel 7 is it has Google's Tensor G2 chip in it. What that really boils down to, at least for me, is mostly the camera. Sure, there are some different AI things, different voice commands and different things that are faster, and the phone is great. It's fast. I've never had any issues with it. That chip definitely is not nearly as fast benchmark wise as some of the other chips out there today, but I've never had any issues with this phone. Really what that chip comes down to for me is the camera. There's a couple things that I absolutely love about this camera versus especially the Samsung Galaxy S22 that I was using. But again, from what I've heard, also goes plays into the S23 Ultra, things that this camera does better. Now, obviously, the Samsung has the 100 or the 200 megapixel camera, which is absolutely insane. The Google Pixel 7 camera, while it is only a 50 megapixel camera compared to the Samsung's 100 or even 200 megapixel camera, the big thing I think that happens here is that the bigger the sensor doesn't always mean better pictures. So I'm not a professional photographer, so I don't always sometimes take advantage of that massive camera on the back of a Samsung. But what Google Pixel phones do the best is their very, very quick post-processing of pictures. I can open the camera, snap a picture, much quicker shutter speed than either of the Samsungs were too. And that picture is going to turn out fantastic. I don't have to do a bunch of tweaking, a bunch of filters, a bunch of different stuff. I personally like how the pictures look coming out of this phone a lot better. I also absolutely love what Google is doing with their real tone technology and making all of those skin tones look better. I love the fact that they're trying to include everybody, and I want what is really in front of my camera. If I'm taking a picture, I don't want it to look really crazy different from what I'm seeing. So I really do appreciate the work that they're putting in for things like that. The other thing that really made me want this camera, use this camera, something that I know is available in just a handful of phones at this point, but is what actually made me want to sell my DJI Osmo Pocket that I had been taking videos with for so long, is the video on this and the cinematic blur that it can put on that camera. So you can use the camera on here and get a really good looking cinematic blur on video without having to have a DSLR or a major camera. That's something that I couldn't do on that Osmo Pocket, so I'm really excited that I can do that on this phone, the Pixel 7, not even the 7 Pro. So absolutely love the fact that I can take some really cool looking videos, and they don't look over processed either. Still playing with it a bunch, but for the most part, if you see my shorts, they're coming from this phone. And the last thing that is absolutely incredible about this phone in particular, and again, you'll see every major tech vlogger and person that reviews and talks about phones talking about this phone is ridiculously inexpensive for what comes packaged in the phone. Brand new is $499 right now. I picked this up used on eBay for $385, and I know that that's not like a crazy difference. The nice thing is this thing is in perfect condition, but they're still so inexpensive even if you buy them brand new. The fact that I got this for $385, I could buy 3 or 4 of these for the price of a new Samsung S22 or S23 Ultra. I will take this and the extra cash all day long. Speaking of which, now that I've had this for over a month, I did just order a case. If anybody has any case suggestions for me, let me know. This was just a standard case, nothing super special about it other than the way it looks. I am, although, looking for, now that it's starting to get warmer outside, I'd like to get something that does have a strap or a ring or a holder or some sort of stand on it. I do want to get something like that for going outside, running. I want to be able to keep a hold of this so I don't drop it, break it, do anything crazy. When I originally wrote this script, I did have at least one bad thing to say about this Pixel 7. It was the fingerprint reader. I looked all over the internet, I tweeted about it, and got the same response that people all over were having the same types of issues with the fingerprint reader that I was having. I think I was having them worse than a lot of people. I couldn't get my fingerprint reader to work at all. When I first logged into the phone, I was able to register my fingerprint, but it wouldn't read it, wouldn't at all. Some people were saying that they would register it and then after about an hour it would go away. Some people were saying, well, if you lick your finger and then do the fingerprint, it'll work. I'm like, I don't know what this kind of stuff is, but I don't really want any part of it. I did a whole bunch of looking. I did a bunch of registering of my fingerprint. I wet my fingerprint before I tried it. I registered one finger 5 different times. Didn't work. Couldn't get anything to work. Finally, I recently got the January update and re-registered my fingerprint, and now it works way more. I mean, we're talking like 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Most of the time when it doesn't work, I know it's because I didn't quite get on the fingerprint reader right. I went at a weird angle, or any number of things like that. Fingerprint reader, so much better now, infinitely better after that update, at least for me. I haven't done much looking to see if that fixed it for everybody else. Definitely one thing to note though, that it definitely was terrible. Still in like the testing phase, but infinitely happier with that touch, with that fingerprint unlock. So much more usable now after that January update. So that has kind of come off of my cons list. The only other thing that I can say is, because this is a smaller phone, because it is so thin and light, it doesn't have quite the same battery life as one of those gigantic phones with a massive battery in it. And from what I've heard of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 being so efficient, the battery life on the S23 Ultras is absolutely incredible, unbelievable. The battery life is definitely not what I was hoping for on this phone, but again, I've never had a problem getting through a full day. I've been playing random games and used my phone for lots of TikTok and video watching, YouTube shorts watching, that kind of stuff, and I've never ended a day with less than like 40, maybe 35% at the end of the night when I'm done with like 2 hours of scrolling before I go to bed. So again, not the same battery that you're going to get from an S22 or 23 Ultra, but not what I would consider at this point a con or really bad about this phone. Just not to the same caliber that you would expect from those bigger phones. So that's a little bit of a review of my Google Pixel 7 and how I've been using it, what I think about it the last about month that I've been using it. But I definitely have chosen to use this right now as my daily driver over an S22 or even an S23 Ultra. I don't want that phone right now. So let me know what you think. Do you agree? Are you getting the Samsung? Not saying the Samsungs are bad phones at all. They're amazing phones. I have just chosen this one as my phone for right now. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.